correct? It means the contrast must be much better. So now, how we can achieve all this? We need to have a totally different type of more advanced networks. So my talk today is about what we plan to do, and we are having our test bed now with some of the country, and then what actually we can achieve from this. So welcome to my working group. So you can talk to us. These are my agenda. Now I want you to see this. Is this something familiar to you? Do you come to check on this thing? So before you go to anywhere in Kuala Lumpur or anywhere, before you go, so you just go to your Google Map and then you see about the traffic condition, correct? So now what we want to do in our network is before a transmission going on, we can actually see something like this. And the network itself will take the best route, okay, optimum route. Best route doesn't mean it's the shortest. Best route can be optimum. It can be slightly longer, but it's giving us a very good high quality things. So this is what we are trying to solve. Now, do you use WhatsApp to do phone call? The call, right? Usually you would use WhatsApp. But sometimes you realize that the quality is not that good. Okay, now have you imagined, say, before I do a WhatsApp call, if this is a very important call, I hope that I can, before I do a call, I can say, now I want a high quality call. Maybe I pay slightly extra. Then I choose the high quality call, then I can get a very clear voice and a very low delay or latency in between the two parties. So when I do this type of call, then I can hear the opposite side clearly. But at this moment, you can't do that. You place the call, you get what the best effort you can get, that's all, right? So the whole things that I am talking today is about getting a high quality calls or getting a so-called quality of service. Now, everything is just a tool, okay? There's nothing so great about it. So now, why we are talking about this SDN, NFV, and so on? Now, basically, the operator, what they want to do, they want to actually set up things easily. They want to reduce their OPEX. They want to reduce their CAPEX. They want to actually beat their opponents and so on. So these are all the percentage that they are talking about. Now, let's talk about SDN. This thing started with when Google have their backbones. When Google started to use this, suddenly everybody pay attention and focus onto this topic. So at this moment, this is the Google backbone. Not for us to access Google, but it's for the data center in between the Google's data center to communicate. So they actually came out with a SDN type of WAN, software-defined network type of WAN. So I will tell you what is software-defined. So what Google did was, they went to Taiwan and they asked somebody, a company, just to produce a brandless switches equipment for them. Okay? So this is not something happy for all the giant in networking giant, because suddenly they are affected, correct? People may not be buying their products anymore. So you can just go to Lao Yat and to buy something you want. Okay? Now, in the traditional, we have a network like this. Then every physical device, we have a data plane, we have an OS, and we have the apps running on every single devices. Okay? Now, so what will happen is this. You have to go to every device to configure, to do all the setting up and everything. So when packet arrives to every device, every device have to look at the packet and decide where to go. Just like whenever you come across to any T-junction, you must be there and you decide, should I go to left, should I go to right, or should I go anywhere? So although you may have a GPS, your GPS is actually pre-calculated for you. So you still go there, then you must go and turn left and turn right at that moment. All right? So that is one thing. So now what they want to do, software-defined network say, no. Let us have one controller, control your networks. So when the controller controls the network, when something's coming into your network, then the inbound and the outbound, they will know where to go. So they preset the route through the device. So no need to each time go to a device and decide where to go. Go to the next device and decide where to go. So it will actually speed up the whole entire network. So now, this is what will happen. On top is your controller. Below now become your device. So your device become very simple device. It can be any device now. No need to be a specific brand. Okay? What you need is something called open flow. Open flow is the protocol that is communicating in between the controller and your devices. It's called SDN-enabled devices. Okay? Now, what is actually inside this control? Okay? So now, there are software layer and there are hardware layer. There are two layers inside there. Now, let us see. If you know what is happening in our communications, every communication in the front there is a header. The header is to tell every devices along the way what to do. Correct? It's because hop by hop. You arrive the first hop has to open up everything inside your packet to see what to do next. But SDN will take out all the parts and look at it once only and tell all the devices along the way. There will be a packet coming on where, going out where, coming in where, you send it out where, coming in where, you send it out where. You no need to each time when you arrive a device, then you start to look at it again. Okay, so think of this. I try to use a very simple plain English to explain to you. So now you can have what type of MAC address is coming in, where is it going, and what is the action. Okay, the controller make a decision and inform every devices along the road one time. No need to repeat every time. Okay, now whether you know or you don't know, today's or you can remember or you cannot remember today's talk, never mind. Please learn two words. Number one, northbound. Number two, southbound. Okay? Even you are not a networking guy. Now, what does it mean? You have a controller, a controller is actually a machine. The controller, when it is controlling the devices down there, this is called southbound. Is it okay? Southbound. Now, just now we were saying, if I have a WhatsApp, before I make a call, I hope to have the WhatsApp to tell the network, I want to have a high quality call. Right? So, it means that WhatsApp must be able to communicate with controller. That is called northbound. Okay? Now, today, everything you forget, or you don't understand at all everything, please remember these two words. One is called northbound, and one is called southbound. Northbound means communicating with the user. Southbound is the controller communicating with the devices. Okay? This is what is happening now. Okay? Now, so after all these things, okay, then we have to talk about network virtualization. If you talk about virtual machine, and so some of you may start to know about all these things. So now we want to talk about virtual network now. Okay? So forget about all these things. Not necessary. Now, let us look at this. Below this is your physical network. Okay? Just like you have a physical server. On top of physical server, you can put a lot of virtual server on top. Okay? On top of virtual server, you can put a lot of virtual application on top. So the same thing. A physical network, a virtual network, services, and everything go up. So the network itself, one single network built previously used by one company or one organization. Now one single network built can be used by multiple users. And everybody have their own control. Not say somebody have to control for you. No. Everybody control yourself. Just like when you start up a virtual machine, and I start another virtual machine, your virtual machine is yours, my virtual machine is mine. Both of us running on the same single physical server. Okay? So that is the what is happening here. Okay? So now, after you have SDN, you have your virtual network, the next thing is functions. Functions. Now, my network is under attack. I want to put a DDoS detector inside there. Previously, what do? You go and buy a device and come in and place it somewhere. Now, it's just a software because everything is virtual, right? So you can have a virtual function now to actually add onto your networks. So you can decouple all these things, like for example, you put in a firewall, you put in an NAT, intrusion detection, all these kind of things inside your network. So when you put inside your network, anything when you require it, you on it. You don't require it, you actually take off. And the best thing, you got an attack from this door. You put intrusion detection there. Then there's no more attack here. The attack coming from the back door there. You shift your virtual function to the back door there. All right? You don't need to put one single on one single environment. Okay? So now, these are all the functions. Basically, all kind of functions you can do. And these are your network function virtualization environment. Same, your hardware, your hardware, then your hypervisors, then all your virtual application going on. Now, there's the third key things that I want you to understand. It's called orchestrator. What is the orchestrator? When you have an orchestra, you need an orchestrator, right? You need somebody. Now you play. Now you shut up. Now you do something. Now you start. Now you stop, right? Orchestrator. Now, in the whole environment, when I started to talk to you until now, I started with SDN. I tell you software, they can do this and that. I talk to you about network virtualization. Suddenly you need an extra network. Who is the one to start up, so-called to start up the whole thing? You need an orchestrator to do it. So orchestrator become very important in all these virtualization environments. They will say, now you're up. Just now I was saying, intrusion was detected here. I want intrusion detection to be, the software to be here. Well, what does it mean? I want it to be here. I must inform the orchestrator. Orchestrator? Set up something there. So the orchestrator will go through the process and set up something there. Correct? But it's all software based. Okay, so that is the part over there. So you can see, same thing, everything, hardware, hypervisor, all the virtualization functions going up, but you need an orchestrator to actually start up and shut down some of the things. So that is NFV, correct? So now, because of this brings a lot of innovation. Suddenly you realize that security is no more ingress, egress. You don't see this anymore because it can be coming from the other side. It can be coming from top, right? You cannot do the original type of firewall. It will not work anymore. Software, a lot of virtual machine is being activated in the hardware. You cannot say one single port, I want to block all these things. No, everything is distributed now. Okay? So for those who are doing your master and PhD, this is a wide open research area. Okay? Many things you can do inside here. Now, so before the end, let me introduce what we are doing. We are working closely with, this is a project started by the Korean government with the help from TEN. If you start to see nowadays, you can see a lot of TEN, Trans-European Information Network. So the biggest portion of the money grant is actually coming from European Union. Okay, the Korean government top up some of the money. So and my RAN, we are two nodes, and we actually got funded for the equipment, all the equipments for this project there. So we have the whole entire SDN network through Korea to connected to India, Philippines, Taiwan, Vietnam, Indonesia, Pakistan, Malaysia. We got two nodes. One is in Myran, one is in and another one is in Thailand. Okay, we are now trying to connect to Laos, Myanmar, Cambodia, okay, Bhutan, okay, and Bangladesh. So we are expanding our network, the SDN network today. So this is our environment. In Malaysia, if you like to join, let me know. What you need to do is actually just a simple desktop for a start. But the only thing we need is you at least have the desktop with a network card with 2 ports. Okay, two NIC cards. You can put two NIC cards or a card with 2 ports. Okay, then you can connect it. Now, think of this. We have a huge SDN network up there. Just now, Suhaimi was talking about federations, all these kind of things, correct? So, of course, we have our own network here. When we have our own network, we will not want the network to be controlled by the Korean, correct? Of course, the Korean will not want their network to be controlled by us. So, what we want to do, we have to do some federations between these two SDN network. One is the MyRAN side and one is the other side. So the same thing, whatever you can do in the MyRAN, your identity, doesn't mean you can do it in the OF pane. All right? These are two different entities. So the research is going on, not only doing authorization, authentication, we're also doing authorization, then also we have to do something called risk analysis on the identity federations. Okay, now, this is a huge project, especially in between Korea, Taiwan, and So what we want to do is we extend the SDN at the layer 2 to layer 3. So there is something called SDN IP, which is running BGP over SDN. You don't understand what? It's okay. It means that now we are doing something across wide area network rather than a small environment, correct? So we are exchanging the BGP protocols in between here, Taiwan, and also the Korea. So now, why we want to do this? Now, sometimes we found that in between directly connected to Korea, the network is congested. So now, the next question is, can I route my traffic to Taiwan and from Taiwan route to Korea or not? Or Taiwan may route to Japan, Japan route to Korea. Even the route may be longer. Okay, but I may be able to get a better quality networks over there. Okay, so this is our projects going on. Now, last August, we have one SDN at MyRAN Day. I don't know anyone, your face is up there or not. We have almost all the international participants to have to join us, and also we have some Malaysian participants as well. So there are people from Thailand, Vietnam, Korea, or from all over the place. Okay, I welcome you to collaborate. That's the end of my talk. So, any question? Hi, Andrew. Currently, we are using ONOS as the controller. Okay? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Ling, Teck, Chaw of